I'm ready, let's go.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So, wow, that Witcher 3 trailer, huh? Well, let me just say, Witcher 3 was a great game. Shitload of content, great story, great combat, deep min-maxing combat system with potions, signs and mutations. You can go pure melee or you can go pure sign. Great game. Deserves a replay. Really good. One of the greatest games ever made. However, I'm going to say that Witcher 4 and to a lesser degree CD Projekt Red deserve a boycott. And I'm going to give you my reasons why. So it's not because it's a female protagonist. No one is going after established IPs, original IPs, with female protagonists. Example comes to mind, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider games were great, not just the originals that were great, but also the reboots. Rise, Shadow, and the PS4 and PS5 remake, they were all great games in their own right. All those games are, I would even say, debatably better than the Uncharted games, just because they've got more depth. They've got more systems in them. They've got the addition of weapon upgrades, it's got crafting. Also has some other really cool shit, like you can booby trap dead bodies in one of them to take out enemies, which is like a tactic like used in wartime. The Japanese used that in the Pacific Theatre of War. They would play dead, or they would booby trap their dead. They basically take a grenade, put it under the body, make sure the lever's held down by the body, pull the pin out. They might shorten the fuse on the grenade at the same time, so that when someone came by and turned the body over to make sure the enemy was dead, it would release the lever on the grenade, and the fuse would either instantly blow up, or you would have activated a grenade with a 3 to 5 second fuse, one or the other. The fact that they put that in a game is just awesome. Not just that, the stealth rope arrow attack from the trees where you shoot them with a rope arrow, you yank them up, and you basically hang them like acrobatically in the tree with the rope arrow. Fucking awesome. And also like just the exploration in it as well, like the underwater sections with the piranhas and stuff. That's straight nostalgia from the original, and the underwater in the levels in the original that had the sharks and everything. It's just flat awesome, right? Awesome throwback to the original triangle titted games. Yeah, just good. And no one's giving them shit about, you know, having a female protagonist in them. The deliberate sex swapping and race swapping, however, is a totally different story. It absolutely reeks of ideology and social conditioning, and that social engineering is working towards an openly hated pedo ideology in like feminist gender and queer theory. Their coalition of LGBTQ. It also doesn't help that they're just, you know, playing ball with leftist biased gatekeepers, and the fact that the free market doesn't want it. They're doing all of this in the face and the wants of their audience, which they're just betraying. The audience and most people, by the way, are just profoundly anti-woke and anti-pedo. Both of these reasons are arguably deserving of a boycott. But the main reason is just the combination of the above. Like, the studio has directly subverted and bastardized their art and their product that an audience wanted, betraying the audience in the process, and they've done this all to directly appease a radical, unwanted ideology and social engineering that the market demonstrably dislikes and rejects. They betrayed their audience to appease an LGBTQ activist and an activist ideology that hates the audience and stands for, like, just the most reprehensible fucking things, if we're being honest. Now, by all means, be gay or lesbian, I don't really care, I suppose. You can have gay marriage as long as it's called civil partnership. To call it marriage is just an attack on Christianity, which is just unnecessary. But things like being trans, that's... Okay, let's be honest, for the longest time that was just a mental illness. And queer ideology, all the way back to Foucault and Sanger, like, directly defended pedophilia. It's always done this. It's stated goal to destroy norms, and the main norm in question here is the norm of the age of consent. Okay, so you can be gay or lesbian, don't really care. If you're trans, I say get help, get mental help. Don't think of it as an ideology, think of it as a mental illness. And queer people can, quite frankly, go all fuck themselves. I don't like queer people at all. They usually defend pedophiles as best they can, in theory, theoretically, all that sort of shit. Fucking horrible people. I suppose you can make the argument, like... I suppose, yeah, it's actually pretty hard. Like, you can't even argue that all LGBT people are against pedophilia. Like, there's some groups there, like Gays Against Groomers, that they differentiated themselves, right, in the LGBTQ umbrella. But at that point, afterwards, like, the wider degenerate LGBTQ conglomerate umbrella pushed them to the right. They abandoned Gays Against Groomers. The right, like, widely accepted them, like, it sort of begrudgingly, you know, tolerated them, but LGBTQ abandoned them outright. And their only difference in stance was against pedophilia and grooming, and basically the social engineering of kids by having drag queens and trans individuals read to them, basically groom them into the ideology. Like, that was the only stance that they really took. And the left just threw them under the bus, or fucking abandoned them. And like, it's not the only time this has sort of happened. Like, this conglomerate just abandons people for, like, you know, the best takes on the worst positions. It's like happened several times. Like, it's also happened with the trans ideology and, like, feminism. When, like, the term TERF, like, or trans exclusionary radical feminist, like, that term was, like, you know, created for women that didn't want trans people in the bathroom with them. And, like, it was just used to just castigate them. And, like, the broader conglomerate of LGBTQ, like, just came after them. And, like, not just differentiated themselves from them, came after them with slogans like "Kill TERFs." It's just fucking insane. And, like, in addition to this, they also, like, widely support trans activists that attack them. Like, Posey Parker, she's been, like, assaulted in public a bunch of different times, have, like, soup poured on her and shit. And, like, the group that did it are degenerates, right? It's LGBTQ. Like, who's to say that wasn't AIDS blood? Like, they're fucking vile. And, like, Posey Parker, she's like 5'0". She's like just like this nice woman that doesn't want to have, you know, share bathrooms with fucking men. And they're, like, assaulting her and throwing shit on her. It's, like, fucking absolutely ridiculous. Ugh. And, like, the grounds for her position, they're pretty good grounds. Like, all she basically said was she didn't want a mentally ill, potentially perverted man who may or may not have been gaining an autogynephilic sexual thrill by frolicking around in a women's bathroom, between, you know, the women and the only means of escaping the bathroom, the door. Like, that's all she said. She didn't want to have to deal with that. She thought that was a fucking bad idea. And look, you can reasonably comfortably say that's a pretty fucking bad idea. But, you know, LGBTQ threw all feminists under the bus that, you know, had that point of view. Pretty fucking disgusting, in my opinion. Like, especially because we can't differentiate from the, you know, truly mentally ill that are otherwise innocent, and the people doing it for an autogynephilic sexual thrill that want to go into a bathroom that has, like, little girls and women in it and pretend to be women because it gives them a sexual thrill. Like, the latter is significantly more disgusting and should not be tolerated at all. The former can be understood, if not tolerated. Like, yeah, work out a different solution before, you know, you go the queer theory route of destroying all social norms. Because in those social norms, there's good things like, you know, don't kill people or don't have sex with underage people. Like, there are good social norms before you go, you know, the queer theory route and destroy all the social norms. And just... Okay, now, to my knowledge, given all that, there has been no exclusively pedophile exclusionary queer group or pedophile exclusionary mainstream LGBTQ queer group, let's say, that at least that hasn't been, like, immediately castigated and then, like, pushed to the right and then begrudgingly accepted by the right. Why is that? You know, I'm, like, just asking the question, why is that the case? Like, in my opinion, it's because, you know, this degenerate leftist conglomerate is openly pro-pedophilia. Yeah, but, you know, who knows? Well, I guess you could say, like, not all LGBTQ are pedos. You could definitely say all the politically active pedos are LGBTQ. It's the only group that, you know, will widely accept them for who they are. Like, in fact, it's sort of at the point where if one were to, in a video game, nuke the LGBTQ activists in an attempt to take out all the pedos, the collateral would be, you know, sort of acceptable losses, like, considering, like, in a video game, of course. Like, the collateral there, is in the name of, you know, queer ideology, implicitly obfuscating for, sentencing, like, leniently, pardoning and defending the actions of these people. And by these people, it's pedophilia shit, right? Like, you saw this in the UK, just the open ignoring of, like, 250,000 cases of, you know, pedophilic gang rape by the Pakistanis. Like, that's all queer and far left ideology doing that. It's fucked. So, basically, given all that reasoning about that ideology, what it's done in the past, where it's going in the future, when a game and game developer deliberately gender swap a beloved main character in a series where the main character, Geralt, is literally the face and name of the series, in order to, you know, deliberately disenfranchise the 74% of their male gamer audience, who are men, while also intentionally, under the guise of queer theory, destroying the sanctity of the original IP, while also stating openly it is doing this in order to appease LGBTQ activists and their ideology. You kind of just gotta say, righto, fuck off, you queer pedo woke Marxist cunts. We aren't buying your gay shit propaganda that is now just like a deformed IP. Like, ironically, it's kind of similar to how, like, mentally ill trans people deform themselves. Yeah. We're just not buying your game. Do better or enjoy bankruptcy. The great games are still there. I've got a fucking backlog of great games I haven't played yet. I've got a huge fucking backlog of games big enough, like, I can keep at this for like a decade before I need a new good game. And other studios are still making good new games. Like, you don't have the corner on the market that you think you have. You don't have the monopoly you think you have. There's still better games out there being made by other people. And even if that weren't the case, I've got a backlog like a decade of good games. What, like, how many more financial failures do you have before you fucking abandon this stupid shit? What, would you have maybe like one or two more, you know, Concords or Dragon Ages, or I don't know, what are the other fucking horrible woke failures? Do you have like one or two more gigantic failures like them? Before, you know, bankruptcy? And it's not just that, like, the whole market is recognizing this. Like, you're not gonna sneak it in anymore. So fucking, like, stop trying. The market has recognized it, and it's responding to it. And it's responding to it in a big way. And it's gonna cost you money that they're responding to it. Yeah. And, like, even to, like, speak further on the, you know, agendas of all these cunts in government and shit. Like, the people are starting to notice where the taxpayer money is going. They're starting to notice that, you know, cost of living prices are going up because of green shit policy that, you know, isn't doing anything. They're noticing they're paying more in taxes than they ever have before. And they're noticing that in the UK, they're being completely sold under the bus for Muslims in, for example, the grooming gang, the child rape gang, fucking debacle. What do we need government for exactly? They're kind of failing in their duty. And, like, that extends to, you know, them offering grants and sponsorships for queer games and queer journalists and queer games journalists that provide, you know, false reviews to prop up the numbers for failing companies, like all this sort of shit. Like, everyone's paying attention to that now. I'd say at the very least they're all on a fucking, you know, really big timer. Like, we can just sit back and do nothing and just basically watch them destroy themselves, like, slowly. Like, no one's gonna buy their fucking games. The people that are gonna fucking regret it, and then they're gonna, like, you know, not buy one in the future. The audience and the market is responding to them. And it's not gonna be fucking long. But anyway, that is why Witcher 4 deserves a boycott. Absolutely fucking reprehensible cunts behind it. Absolutely reprehensible ideology behind it. Not far off pedo, definitely pedo adjacent. Yeah, go fuck itself.
All right.
you.